Welcome to the Socialette podcast, where we empower you with the marketing know-how you need to create the business of your dreams. I'm your host, Steph Taylor, and I'm a marketing nerd, Shiraz lover, and passport stamp collector. Join me as I dive into all things small business marketing and deliver them to you in bite-sized, fluff-free lessons every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Let's get learning. Hey, welcome back to Socialette. This is episode 146. This episode is brought to you by my free Instagram cheat sheet, 7 savvy strategies to ignite your Instagram. Inside the cheat sheet, I share my top strategies that I used to grow my Instagram accounts to over 30,000 followers combined and build a business off the back of it. Head to stephtaylor.co/IG to download the cheat sheet. Okay, onto the episode. A couple of different little branding things that will make a big change to your business. When I first started Wild Bloom back in May 2017, it was literally a week after I'd had surgery and I was bored by just doing nothing while I was recovering. I had about $100 to my name, but I knew my way around Photoshop and Illustrator and I knew how to build a basic WordPress website. So I DIY'd everything for the brand. It was only about 8 or 9 months later that I actually had the budget to invest in a professional brand refresh, and I noticed the changes big time. Potential clients stopped haggling on quotes, and we started attracting a totally different type of client. I think it was because we looked like we actually meant business. Now, if you don't have a budget to do a full refresh at the moment, there are still some small things you can do that will make a big difference in your brand, in your business branding. Also, if you haven't listened to Monday's episode, it's with the branding queen, Tess Robinson from Smack Bang Designs, and that episode is full of so much gold. Okay, on to the episode. Here are 7 little branding things that will make a huge difference to your business. Number 1, articulate your vision. Until I got clear on my business vision, I felt like I was just running around, chasing every sparkly squirrel and really confusing myself, which meant that I was 100% confusing my audience. Articulating your vision gives you focus, and everything you say yes to or no to either brings you closer to that vision or takes you further away from it. Number 2, consistency. Consistently releasing 3 podcast episodes a week has been the best thing I've ever done for my business. Now, that's not to say you need to overwhelm yourself by creating content that often, but even if it's a blog post every fortnight, it's all about setting your audience's expectations and delivering consistently. Consistency builds trust because people know what they can expect from you. And this goes for how you show up as well as how often you show up. So how your brand looks, how your content sounds, even the topics you're posting about. Everything should be consistent. Number 3, how you present yourself in real life. I'm a pretty highly strung person, so whenever I'd attend events, I was almost always flustered and my mind was racing off in 100 different directions, and it came across. But as part of my brand, I want to make people feel at ease. And how I was showing up to these events as the face of my brand was completely different to how I wanted people to feel. So it's something I have had to work on a bit. This also applies to your appearance when you show up at events. Are you messy and scruffy, and do you look like you don't really care about how you show up? I'm not saying you have to wear like a power suit to every event. It might just be as simple as brushing your hair and putting on something more than activewear. Number 4, kick pressure to the curb. How much of what you do as a brand is because it's something that you feel like you should do, or because it's what everyone else in your industry does? Stop doing what you feel like your business should do and do whatever the heck you want to do. Just because every other brand in your space is super professional and corporate looking doesn't mean that yours has to be. You do you. Number 5, stop trying to be everything to everyone. Seriously, trying to serve everyone in your market is going to leave your messaging sounding confused and your brand feeling all over the place. I say this because I've tried it. When I first started Wild Bloom, we literally offered every service that was in my skill set. And when I hired a few team members, I increased the service offering to include every skill in their skill sets as well. And it was overwhelming. Like, I felt overwhelmed. So I can only imagine how our potential clients felt when they were presented with this massive menu of services that we could offer. So my biggest tip here is to simplify what you offer, narrow down who you offer it for. You're not in business to keep everyone happy. Keeping everyone happy doesn't pay the bills. Number 6, stop overcomplicating it. Sometimes the simplest things are the most powerful. That goes for everything from your website tagline to your elevator pitch when someone asks you what your business does. I know there's a lot of pressure to be clever and witty and funny in your brand messaging, but it's also really easy to wind up with complicated messaging that nobody understands. So just keep it simple. And number 7, stop selling and start telling stories instead. Yeah, this one is a biggie. Rather than being all like, buy my product, focus on winning over your audience's emotions with stories. Great brand stories are the reason why I spend money on things that I don't need. And I can guarantee that I'm not the only one who does this. I think I'll get my friend Anita from WordFetty back on this podcast to chat about telling stories, as she's a million times better at it than I am. That's it for this episode. Make sure you hit subscribe so you don't miss any new episodes released every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And if you're enjoying this show, I'd really appreciate it if you could take the time to leave a quick rating and a review. It helps a lot when people are looking for new podcasts to listen to. Thanks so much for listening. Catch you next time.